I know. So much to know, so little time, and then when you're sick, time even seems more unavailable and precious, doesn't it? I get it. Well, apparently the community in Rockland County, up there in upstate New York, I guess it is, Nyack area, whatever, they're in a real twist. Things are going on. I've been reporting on, how long have I been reporting on measles now?
I would say since the little bit before the first of the year.
Now, it's made the mainstream media, but I've been reporting on it all along. I knew that this was going to percolate into a real issue, and it has. Measles was eradicated in this country, when was it, 2000 something and some change? It was eradicated. No, it wasn't. The virus gets into the country. It's coming in from other places, other countries. And the next issue is that there are pockets of, or areas, I was going to say pockets of people. There are areas where people are not getting their children vaccinated. And this is one of those areas. 2 days after health officials in a suburban New York County declared a state of emergency, no less, and banned, listen to what I'm saying, banned unvaccinated children from going outside in public places. I'm not kidding you. Amid an ongoing measles outbreak, parents are having mixed reactions. What's mixed? There's no mix. Y'all are getting sick. Your kids are getting sick. Some, like Rockland County resident, CBS reported, Lanny Goldstein reluctantly brought her kids to the doctor to get vaccinated. She's reluctant. Really? You're reluctant, are you? Ms. Goldstein received a call, CBS reports, from her son's principal that he couldn't attend school unless he received the MMR vaccine. And if I were the principal of the school, I wouldn't let him in either. Why? Because he's going to infect the other kids. Measles is not a benign disease. Children can die. Ms. Goldstein told the Journal News that she previously decided not to get her son vaccinated because it's her right to, quote, not want to injure, close quote, her child. All right. You want to do that? That's fine. Then you need to quarantine yourself and your family. If you have some religious belief, and I don't even want to get into it, I'm not even going to mention the religion, I'm not going to go there. If you have some belief that this is a wrong thing to do, then you're going to need to figure out how you're going to live in that community. I'm very clear on this. She doesn't want to injure her child, but she wants her child to injure other children and infect them. They are in a state of an emergency there. There's no doubt about it. She told the paper that she feels like she's being bullied to get the vaccination. Nobody's bullying you. They're just telling you that would you send somebody into a classroom that had bubonic plague? No, you wouldn't. Would you send somebody into a classroom that had some peculiar, rare virus? No, you wouldn't. Well, just because it's measles, you're thinking, oh, it's very common. It was common in the United States. There's nothing common about it. Goldstein was one of 10 parents at the local pediatrician's office at noon, CBS reported, to get their children vaccinated. 30 people got measles vaccinations at Free County Clinic on Wednesday of this week. The ban began at midnight Wednesday, and it's in effect for the next month. And it found some support among residents. I mean, if I were living in that community and I had, listen, there are children that can't get the vaccine because they may be cancer patients. They have some rare issue, a health issue. Cancer is not rare. They have some other immune issue. There are a number of children that cannot get protected from with the vaccine, and they are candidates to get infected. What about those kids? I don't know. It makes me crazy. There was a small gathering of about 10 people. They met in response to a Facebook event called Rockland County Unvaccinated Civil Disobedience. You know what? Go ahead. You have every right to exercise civil disobedience. You do not have the right to infect other people. You don't. And the authority said they were going to, I think this is bluster. They were going to arrest any parent that violated the ban. I don't think they want to do that, but it's probably more of an attention getter than it is anything else. What if you had 2 or 3 kids and you sent them to school and they all come home infected with measles because somebody at school decided, because of their religion or because of some ignorant belief that the vaccine is going to make them, I don't know what, turn them into a Martian. I don't know what they're thinking. Your kids get sick. Would you be happy about that?
You're sort of the flag carrier on this with the vaccines. And the flag carrier, somebody I looked up to, Sergeant Mims, would always say, it's always the flag carrier that gets shot first. Just remember that.
Well, it's okay. I typically try to stay out of those phrases, but when I see this going on, and when the authorities have to issue a ban and threaten to arrest parents because they're not following the ban and getting their kids vaccinated, I mean, I knew this. I knew it was going to end up here. I just knew it. People are entitled to their opinion. They're not entitled to their own facts. And if you believe that giving your child the MMR vaccine is going to do some terrible thing to the child, if you have that belief, show me the data. What are the data? And what do you expect to happen to your child? Because they're going to get that. I got vaccinated. We had just gotten electricity. I was born in 1944. When I was in first grade, that was 1950. And I remember getting vaccinated. I'm still here, okay? I'm just saying. I know I'm only a sample of one, but please. And they've improved the vaccines. Craziness. It's just pure grain ignorance. I'm sorry. You're entitled to you're entitled to your opinion, and you're entitled not to have your children vaccinated. You're not entitled to your facts, and you're not entitled to infect other people. Welcome back. Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition. There's 155 confirmed cases of measles in Rockland County. This is where the local authorities have issued a ban. They've banned children who are unvaccinated from public spaces. Those parents who don't want to get their children vaccinated are outraged. Well, okay. But there's an epidemic there, and it's an emergency, and the health authorities have a responsibility to that community to protect it. And, you know, the majority of cases of these 155 have been children, most of whom were unvaccinated. The outbreak began this fall, in the fall, when an international traveler arrived in the county with a suspected case of measles. Okay? That's how the virus can get into the country. People bring it in from other places. 6 additional cases of measles from international travelers to the area have exposed even more people to the virus. Now, I'm avoiding getting into any particular ethnic group, religion. I'm not going there. You want to find out about that, go read about it. The outbreak, let me quote CBS. This is CBS. Quote, the outbreak was centered in an ultra-Orthodox Jewish community where many residents had not been vaccinated. And the CBS continued. In a press conference on Tuesday, County Executive Ed Day noted that many Orthodox rabbis have been working with health officials to encourage vaccination in their community, close quote. Good for the rabbis. That's what they should do. The cases currently clustered in eastern Ramapo, though officials warn exposure may occur anywhere in the county. The health department, the CBS reported, is working to limit exposures and offering free vaccine to boost the county's immunization rate. Let me tell you why it's important to get vaccinated with the MMR. MMR means measles, mumps, and rubella. That's what MMR means. I was right. Measles was declared eliminated in the U.S. in the year 2000. Apparently it wasn't. It's back, and it's back with a vengeance. The virus is so contagious, it can live and be passed on to someone for up to 2 hours after an infected person has left the room. Remember, these viruses have been around for millennia. They know how to survive. About 90% of people who are not immune will get sick if they're exposed to the virus. I don't care. Don't tell me that, you were blessed with a great immune system and you're going to take your chances. This is like playing poker with a card shark who has a marked deck. You're going to lose. 1 dose of the MMR vaccine protects against measles, mumps, and rubella. It's 93% effective. And 2 doses are 97% effective. Herd immunity, that concept, when at least 90 to 95% of the population is vaccinated, that concept, herd immunity, protects infants and people with weakened immune systems who are unable to get the vaccine. And there are more than a few. They're not candidates because of health issues. They are put at great risk, man. What if you had a child who is going through chemotherapy, who has cancer? That kid is a sitting target. There are serious complications associated with measles, pneumonia, encephalitis, brain swelling, leads to blindness or deafness, and in some cases, kids can die. I'm not an MD. I'm a PhD, and I'm exercised about this because it's, there's the right thing to do. And this is where religion and politics and medicine collide at the intersection, and nobody's obeying the stop sign. That's what's going on here. And a lot of irrationality, ignorance, and indignation are all thrown into the mix, and then you end up with a disaster like this. That's all I'll say about it. I've made my position known. I am not an anti-vaxxer. I am not. I know. I'll just say this, one more thing. If we were to eliminate all vaccines today, and then henceforth, no more vaccines, do you think we would be better off or worse off? What do you think would happen worldwide? What do you think would happen in this country? Just think about that for a second. Here's how to connect. Maybe you have a thought or two.
877-897-8255. That's 877-897-TALK. Don't forget to go to our Facebook page at Let's Talk Nutrition on Facebook, at the Instagram at Let's Talk Nutrition, and on YouTube at Let's Talk Nutrition, where we have over 62,000 views now, 1,100 videos, and it's closed caption for the hearing impaired.
Boy, I'll tell you, they're in a mess up there. It's somebody else's problem until it gets into your community, and then all of a sudden people get, all lathered up about it. You got to look at you got to look at that before that happens, and figure out what's the best thing for everybody. We come back, we'll talk some more. We have people on the menu today, don't we?
Stuart Tomc.
He's on the road, I believe.
CV Science, yeah. We didn't think we were going to have him. He's traveling, but he's going to call us.
Oh, yeah. Great guest, great guy, so smart. He's the flag carrier for CBD. We'll be back.
Don't be stressed out or anxious. Take Hempenol, the only raw CO2 hemp extract available. It's 100% organic with wild oreganol P73 extract. You might have heard about CBD, but there's no comparison. Hempenol has the power and potency you need to support your nervous system, stay calm and focused, and maintain a healthy immune system. Unlike other CBD oils, Hempenol contains the full spectrum of phytocannabinoids. Take Hempenol and feel great. And if you suffer from insomnia and can't seem to get that full night's rest, try Hempenol PM. Hempenol PM is specifically formulated to get you the rest you need without feeling sluggish when you wake. It's non-addictive, completely natural, and leaves you feeling energetic and ready to take on the day. To place your order or to find out where to find Hempenol in your area, call 1-800-243-5242, 800-243-5242, or visit us at oreganol.com.
This is Dr. Michael Garko reminding you that every Let's Talk Nutrition show is available as a podcast. Listen on your phone through the iHeartRadio app or on Amazon Echo.
Couple wrecks on the westbound side of the Selman Expressway. The left and center lanes are blocked just before US 301. That has traffic backed up on northbound I-75. Once you get past that, a crash blocks the left-hand lane just before 50th. Also still seeing a bit of a delay on northbound 275 off the Howard Franklin Bridge in towards Tampa. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm Abrahamson Uderick Hillsboro. Traffic tip line 866-545-9595.
This report is sponsored by Ashley Home Store.
Ashley Home Store's anniversary sale is in its final week. Come in and save up to 30% or get no interest for 6 years with no minimum purchase. Hurry, the anniversary sale ends Monday. Shop and save today at Ashley Home Store. This is home.
Get ready for our 2019 iHeart Country Festival. What's up, Austin? Tim McGraw. Florida Georgia Line. Dan and Shay. Luke Combs. Little Big Town. And so many more. Saturday, May 4th.
iHeartRadio.
Listen live on iHeart Country stations from coast to coast, our iHeartRadio app, or watch at livexlive.com or on Live by Live's apps and socials.
Howdy, Jack Harris here, inviting you to Downsize Tampa Bay. Downsize Tampa Bay is Florida's premier seminar to assist the downsizing homeowner. This is a free seminar on Sunday, April 7th, but you have to register today at Downsize Tampa Bay. That's Downsize Tampa Bay.
Ask yourself, if you built a van for your business, where would you start? At the beginning, of course. with the people who invented the work van over 100 years ago, Mercedes-Benz. You'd give your new Mercedes-Benz Sprinter advanced technology and safety to keep you connected and protected. You'd make it available in diesel and gas, and there would be thousands of configurations and upfits to choose from. You build it right here in the USA, because your one-of-a-kind business deserves nothing less than a van that's built for you. Introducing the all-new Mercedes-Benz Sprinter, the safest, most innovative Sprinter yet, starting at just $33,790. Built for you, the all-new Sprinter, built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz, vans, born to run.
MSRP excludes all options, taxes, title, registration, transportation charge, and dealer prep fee. Options, model availability, and actual dealer price may vary. See dealer for details about costs and terms. Equipment described as optional. 2019 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter available soon.
Weekends on Talk Radio. I know what you're thinking. All ball games or best of shows. My name is Bill Handel, and my show Handel on the Law is fresh every weekend. On Handel on the Law, I offer marginal legal advice in an entertaining, that's a medical fact, 3-hour show. I'm the reason you want to turn on your radio this weekend. Just ask my mother. Don't miss Handel on the Law, Sunday afternoon from 2 to 5 here on 1250 WHNZ.
From the Rude Air Conditioning Weather Center, rely on Rude.
Your Tampa Bay area forecast: abundant sunshine, low humidity, and warm. High 80. Clear tonight, low 61. Tomorrow and Sunday, a mix of clouds and sunshine. High both days near 83. For more news, weather, and traffic, tune to WFLA at 94.5 in St. Pete, 105.9 in Tampa, or 99.1 in Newport Richey.
This report is sponsored by InvisibleFence.com. Pet parents trust Invisible Fence brand with their pets. Their Consumer Digest Awarded Boundary Plus technology is guaranteed to protect your pet from escaping while providing them the freedom they deserve. Visit InvisibleFence.com to learn more. That's InvisibleFence.com.
Now, a 1250 WHNZ market update.
Wall Street today opening up green to close out the week. Dow up 135 to 25,853. NASDAQ gaining 53 points, and the S&P Index up by 15. iHeartRadio app, you can find it through your app store and all your devices. You can also find it at WHNZ.com. Impact Radio 1250 wins.
Let's Talk Nutrition is brought to you by Jarrow Formulas, superior nutrition and formulation. Natural Factors, where great health begins. Kyolic, aging makes the finest garlic truly odorless. Celsius, live fit. Flora, 100 years of herbal wisdom. Let's Talk Nutrition on the web at letstalknutrition.com. We're back from the break, so let's rejoin Dr. Michael Garko.
Welcome back. Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition, wherever and however you may be listening or watching the show. And whatever you may be doing. I don't know if you're aware, but this young woman, she was a former Miss Teen Universe winner. She had a heart attack. She was 20 years old. She had a heart attack and she died. She was on a holiday. She was skiing. She was on vacation. And it was one day before her 20th birthday. Goodness. This story is astonishing. She died after suffering a heart attack the day before her birthday. A Dutch model, Lottie van der Zee, suddenly fell ill while on a family skiing trip in Westendorf, Austria, to celebrate her big day. She was beautiful, beautiful young woman. The beautiful queen, the beauty queen. She was from East Netherlands, who won the global pageant in 2017, died on Wednesday after 2 weeks in a coma. Yikes. Her parents have opened up about their grief in a heartbreaking post on the model's Instagram. Have you followed this?
Yeah.
Sharing the final picture they took with their daughter. They've referred to her as our Pearl. Oh. Our hearts are truly broken, her parents said. Oh, man. She was so vibrant. And I was trying to get a medical assessment as to what happened. There's a doctor, Alec Patel. He's a pediatrician in New York. He told Yahoo Lifestyle that, this is becoming more and more common. There was another person, an 18-year-old, who died of a heart attack unexpectedly also. And he was commenting on these two cases. He said that Dr. Patel said, quote, there are almost 360,000 cases of sudden cardiac arrest every year in America, and there's only about 10% of people surviving, close quote. Now, cardiac arrest is not the same as a heart attack. Dr. Patel, he makes that distinction. Heart attack is where you have a vessel that's providing blood to your heart gets blocked or clogged because of plaque. Cardiac arrest is when their heart just stops working. Now, the three major risk factors for heart disease are high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and smoking. Those are the three main variables. Just not a healthy lifestyle. High sodium also doesn't help, and stress is a big player. Dr. Patel said, quote, more young people are actually getting heart attacks. He's right. And there are stories of young women presenting with very vague signs of heart attacks. There was another person, Tomlinson, 18 years old, who I cannot get any, I don't know if you have found it or Stephen has found it, I don't know if they did an autopsy on the young woman.
I couldn't get over there's only a 10% survivor rate.
Survival rate, yeah, well, these things happen. Again, this is stuff that happens to other people until it happens to you. They were on vacation having a wonderful time, right? Boom. There you go. Done. 877-897-8255. 877-897-TALK. If people think that heart disease, cardiovascular issues are just for the elderly. That's not true. Given the obesity epidemic, we now have children who are beginning to have the early signs of heart disease, coronary artery disease. They can already see the fatty streaks. Bring it to your attention. Stuart Tomc is the guest today. I know he's on the road, so he's doing yeoman's work. I don't have a clue where he is, but he's on the phone, and he's here. Stuart, welcome to the show. It's great to have you on. Where are you?
You know what? I'm actually in California today.
Okay.
I'm actually back at home today, but I'm leaving Sunday out your way to Florida.
Oh, yeah. Where are you going? Orlando?
Orlando.
Out
to Orlando.
What is that? That some trade show, or what is that?
Yes, that's what's happening now. It is a nonstop trade show event calendar. It started out when we began in 2014. I thought eventually the trade shows will slow down. This thing will gain some traction. It will gain momentum, and we won't have to be out there all of the time. That is not what happened.
Is Walgreens going to be there?
You know what's happening now that we're getting to this level where things are.
You know why I said I'm being ironic. They're going to sell CBD in Walgreens.
I know, I saw that.
Okay, go ahead. I figured you did.
I did. And anyway, just in terms of any specifics or details, the term now is non-public information. So that will be revealed over time. I want everybody to know that the mainstreaming of the ingredient is happening. So it's just there'll be a little process to find out which brands show up in which stores when, but that's all happening right now. That's happening in real time. Can you believe that? I'm curious what you thought when you saw that, Doctor. What did you think when you saw the stuff's finally going mainstream?
Raw material is the first thing that came to mind.
Like, is there enough of it?
Well, what are they using and what's in the product? I mean, back that up. Rerun that reel again. You jumped in the middle of it, and I didn't quite catch the point you were trying to make.
Well, I was curious what you thought as a doctor, as a scientist, when you saw that CBD was going to be sold in Walgreens.
Let me put it this way. Nothing surprises me. My daughter sent me a text message with images. What was the drugstore?
Walgreens.
Was it? She saw in. I'll have to look at my phone. One of the chain pharmacy drugstore chains selling adult toys. They had a whole section. I don't even want to get into the toys. Whatever, you know what I'm talking about, right? They're selling adult.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, wow is right. And that she took a photograph of it. So when I saw this, I thought, well, okay, here we go. I'm not surprised. This is what is concerning to me. I remember when you started this campaign to educate the world about CBD, and you, to borrow Gary's metaphor, you were the flag carrier, and everybody approached this as if you had bubonic plague. They didn't even want to talk to you. Now you can't get your phone stopped ringing.
Feel tired, lethargic, or irritable?
show today of CV Sciences. They have been the trailblazer in trying to educate the consumer, the general public, about CBD derived from hemp. And a year or two, when did you join CV Sciences, Stuart?
2014.
It's been, okay, so it's been 5 years. Since then, thinking about then and now, you asked me what was my first thought when I saw this article about Walgreens selling CBD products. My really first thought was, I wonder what Stuart thinks about this. Now, that was my first thought. So with that, what does Stuart think about this?
Well, I'm hopeful that this is a signal to the world that this stuff is here to stay. I hope it's a signal to everybody that there really is something here, that this is not just hype, that this is a brand new addition to the way that we will live. I mean, think about it in this short period of time. When I first started, the New York Times was running a full-page ad, and they had no cannabis scheme in New York at all. Do you remember that, Doc, the Leafly ad that was running in the New York Times?
I do.
Okay, so for anybody that didn't see it, I'll just kind of describe it. I think it's online. You can look it up. Leafly, Leafly.com, Leafly.com. It's a big cannabis site. We used to write for them. I'm just making a historical point to Dr. Garko's question. Back in 2014, a week after I took the job, Doc, I came into the office and saw a copy of the New York Times that had a man standing in front of a brownstone, looks like, rich, expensive part of New York, and a young woman running past. And there are two word balloons next to the people. And it says next to the man, while beating cancer, Ian used Blue Dream. And then underneath the woman it says, Molly prefers Kali Mist to relieve pain. What's your strain? And I'm scratching my head. This is back in 2014. I'm trying to figure out, what are you talking about? Is this an ad selling marijuana strains? And it's what it was. Now, fast forward now to 2019. The question is no longer, what's your strain? That's for the marijuana world. We're in the hemp business. The question needs to be, what is your hemp seed? And is your product generally recognized as safe? So we've come a long way. We've evolved from what's your strain to what's your seed. And by next year, Doc, it's going to be very simple. There are 3 different ways to get CBD: pharmaceutical, agricultural hemp, or botanical recreational cannabis. 3 different markets, 3 different outlets to buy CBD. So to answer your question, when I saw that CBD is finally in Walgreens and in CVS, I hope that tells people we've got something amazing here that can help heal everybody, and we were right. That's what it tells me.
Are you concerned about the competition being now it's in the mass market?
Absolutely not. And I'll tell you why. Because 10 milligrams on average, 10 to 15 milligrams in a hemp extract of CBD on average per day for hundreds of millions of people that are afraid. We all know what's happening out there. Did you hear the commercial for the last product? It's a brand new product, right, Doc? I'd never heard that before. Your brain, your heart brain, your gut brain, coordinate all this mental health. I heard mental health in a natural product commercial this morning.
Yeah.
Things are changing. We are in trouble. Our nervous systems are on fire. We need fat-soluble antioxidants that can cross the blood-brain barrier, that can dampen the extreme oxidative stress that's crushing hippocampal neurogenesis. We're so stressed out, we're not making new brain cells effectively, and when we are, they're getting killed. So we need pro-neurogenic modulators, and that's what this was all about. It wasn't about a product. It was part of a lifestyle, a healthy endocannabinoid lifestyle. And now the people are getting more educated. You eat a varied, rich diet so that you can support gut microbiota diversity. You exercise to create brain-derived nootropic factor. This also tonifies your body's endocannabinoid signaling so that we can fight chronic stress. So when I saw we had CBD in the mainstream, right next to Tylenol and Advil, and for crying out loud, what do we really have over the counter for mental health, Doc? Nothing.
No.
Interesting. 877-897-8255, 877-897-TALK. To your point about stress, beginning this week on HBO, Dr. Sanjay Gupta is doing a series. It's entitled, what is it? One Nation Under Stress. Turns out, in this documentary, in the first, I believe it's just, is it one episode or is it a series?
It's a series.
He's interviewing a colleague of mine. I've worked with him, Dr. Cyril Wecht. Dr. Wecht is a forensic pathologist, okay? And in this opening scene, Dr. Wecht is looking over these bodies, autopsied, and tells Dr. Gupta that he's talking about the opioid crisis. And he said it's a significant epidemic of monstrous proportions, close quote. And Dr. Gupta's argument is this is one nation under stress, and people are resorting to opioids. The prevalence of chronic liver disease has risen linearly and exponentially. Why? Due to excess alcohol abuse. People are trying to find ways to cope with stress. To your point, I've been talking about stress on this show for 14 years, and people keep wondering why I do it, and I keep saying it's a killer. And this is where I think CBD, to your point, really, among other things, can serve a wonderful purpose. Stuart.
Doctor, I could not agree more, because we are in a deep epidemic. It's been difficult for us to acknowledge, in my opinion. During this last 4 or 5 years, I've been on the road non-stop, every other week, sometimes 3 weeks a month. From one corner of our country to the next, I'm hearing the exact same thing from people. I'm so stressed. I'm so depressed. I'm having long-term changes in cognitive function. And that's...
Well, when we come back, we're going to continue this theme. Stuart's here today, and I'm grateful. He has some great insights. We'll be back. When the old meets the new. Hold that thought. My guest today is Stuart Tomc, and he's with CV Sciences. He's the vice president of human nutrition at CV Sciences. And most of you probably know, maybe some don't, that CV Sciences has been in the forefront of the science and the formulation, the marketing, and the selling of CBD derived from hemp. I'm glad Stuart's on today. Let me sort of provide a context for the conversation. I know he has things on his mind, but to sort of give it some relevance, other than it's being sold in Walgreens and CVS. So the old meets the new. What I'm referring to is this ancient biological system that we have called the fight or flight response. And it has served us well as a species and still does. And if for one moment, and that system came into being so that the species could survive. And whenever our ancient ancestors perceived a physical threat, the system kicked in. And certain things happen when the system kicks in. Blood is shunted away from certain parts of the body to other parts of the body. There's no time to engage in digestion, so blood is shunted away. That system sort of shuts down. Your brain gets lit up. Your extremities, more blood is pushed to the extremities, so you can fight or run. A lot of things happen. Heart rate goes up, right? All good. It's intended to do that. However, those stress hormones that cause all of these downstream effects are to be temporarily marshaled, not to be in the system coursing through the bloodstream all day long. The new, that is, modern life, is it's like the kid that keeps coming into the room. You turn the light switch off, the kid turns the light switch on. And that's what modern life does. It continually leaves the switch on for the fight or flight response, because people it's not just physical threats that trigger it, it's psychological threats. Your own thoughts, thinking about some crazy boss, thinking about some financial issue that you have, thinking about whether you're going to be indicted by Robert Mueller. Right? Whatever it might be. And that turns it on as well. And modern life is such that it is, at every bend and turn, there is some perceived threat. Now, that being said, one should not assume that our ancient ancestors that lived millions of years ago somehow were walking around, like they were at some resort drinking pina coladas and everything was just fine and dandy. They were under a lot of stress. And we naturally selected for this system. Evolution saw fit that, this needs to develop, and it did, and still continues to do so. We are adapting. They lived in a time of scarcity and stress. We live in a time of abundance and stress. Abundance and stress don't go well together. You say, well, scarcity and stress don't go well together. Well, that's true too. There's a place in between where it's ideal, right? They had to get up every day and literally fight for their life. They had to hunt, they had to gather, they had to fend off attacks, figure it out. We have a lot of things at our disposal to help us, but even with that, we're under tremendous stress. Dr. Sanjay Gupta's series on HBO, One Nation Under Stress, sort of underscores this dilemma that we're in. And I read articles all the time, these writers talking about how the stress system that, is some sort of curse that came from the lower levels of Dante's Inferno. That's nonsense, man. I don't want the stress. I don't want my stress response to go away. I need it. So do you. We just have to learn how to manage it. And one way to manage it, there are many ways to manage it. Oh, and by the way, if you're thinking that Buddhist monks, I did this the other day, live on air. It was organic. I did it on air. I did the research right on the air. I thought out loud. I said, geez, I wonder if Buddhist monks are under stress. Well, what did I learn? They have a STD rate that's off the chain. Why? Because they're under stress and they're trying to relieve themselves by engaging in reckless sex. So even Buddhist monks, maybe they should, place an order with CV Sciences and get some of that sent to the Himalayas. Airdrop it in or whatever. So it's just incredible. We are susceptible to it. It's one of the greatest paradoxes of biology and evolution. And it turns out that CBD is a wonderful way to help manage it. And with that, my aforementioned guest and good friend and colleague and somebody that I have a lot of regard and respect for, Stuart Tomc. Stuart, welcome back. I'm trying to set this up for you. Maybe I just made the setting for the table even worse, but
No. It's so beautiful because we were just discussing this at the office yesterday. We were talking about how these terms are scary and new and sometimes difficult to pronounce. And when you contextualize it like you did, you always do, you're a master of that, in a way that makes more sense, I think we can all relate to, my nervous system feels not right. We all know what that feels like.
Right, anxiety.
And what Dr. Garko was trying to help us understand are some of the biochemical things that are going on when you're in that state of fight or flight. And he said it so beautifully, you have to mobilize a lot of energy. So you've got this glucose, insulin, moving of the flow of blood from your head and your heart to your hands and your feet so that you can run. Now, one of the things that I've recently learned is that during all of this time of incredible stress, not only does the cortisone level go up, we all know that, inflammation levels go up, but I mentioned this earlier, and it's important to say again, we're not able to make new brain cells. Let me put it like this. The brain cells that we're making constantly when we're under stress don't always make it, right? The neurogenesis, hippocampal neurogenesis of making these new brain cells. I've learned when we're under tremendous stress, they die. They die during this process. CBD is a fat-soluble antioxidant that crosses the blood-brain barrier and appears to rescue neurogenesis that's getting obliterated. That's why it's such a powerful neuroprotectant, to protect you from the long-term changes in cognitive function as a result of stress. Now, that's just one of its disparate mechanisms of action. And what you said earlier about adaptation and evolution is why we have the system. So think about this. Hemp isn't new. It's ancient. The endocannabinoid system isn't new. It's adapted as we've needed to adapt. Now let's all take a deep breath. We've had to adapt more in the last few years than perhaps we did in the past. They say evolution is like that, right, Doc? Short periods of very tight change, radical change, and then long periods where there isn't as much. So this is all happening in real time for a reason.
And we'll get into that and much more with Stuart Tomc, LTN, Coast to Coast, and globally. we may tend to believe or like to believe that somehow we are more stressed than our ancient ancestors and predecessors. That's not true. The stress and strain of life, ancient or modern and anything in between, has a profound history. I'll do a throwback for you and set even the table a little more for Stuart, just a bit more. There was an American writer, was probably more toward the left than any place else. He was really left-wing, quite truthfully. Alvin Toffler. Remember the book Future Shock? When I was getting educated in college, that book was very popular. And Toffler talked about the shattering stress and disorientation that modern life brings, where you have a lot of change happening in a very condensed amount of time, frame of time. You know, I talked about people of modern life were struggling to adapt to this uninvited, unexpected, fast-paced tempo of life. And it was so transient, you know, a world of transition and transience of people and places. Technological innovation coming in at the speed of light, the surfeit of choices, consumables, education and media and information. All these are our modern life, and they have been blessings in many ways, but Toffler saw it as future shock, putting people into what one could interpret a chronic state of stress. And society begins to crumble underneath it. And because of it, it's interesting. And people are resorting to opioids, alcohol, reckless sex, whatever, even the monks that I reported on. Nobody's safe on this show. Stuart, welcome back to Let's Talk Nutrition. CBD has a place here if it's done right and more and ethically and not exploited like some are trying to do. It does have a place in modern life that I think that is purposeful, meaningful, and useful.
I have two questions over the internet, by the way. I didn't get a chance.
All right. Your response, your thoughts.
Well, I do think it's meaningful and purposeful. I think the confusion is CBD is a drug, while at the same time it can be found and is found in food fiber hemp. It's also found in medical or recreational cannabis, marijuana, whatever you call that stuff. So there are three different distinct swim lanes with the same molecule. Now that's a regulatory market disaster that we've never dealt with before. So that's the next part of this conversation. Where can you, should you, are you allowed to get your CBD? If you're sick and you get a prescription, that might be different than going into a health food store, and that might be different than going into a dispensary, and that's what we're reckoning with right now.
What's a dispensary?
That's where they sell cannabis, marijuana, in states that have those programs. So here's the confusion, Doc. Did you know that American horticulturalists have become very clever, and with the Farm Bill legalizing low THC hemp, that they're hybridizing marijuana to meet the Farm Bill definition, but technically it's not hemp?
Jeez.
Did you catch that? Did you catch that?
Yeah.
Okay, so against a shifting regulatory landscape, the distinction between hemp and other forms of cannabis has become almost moot. So that's what CV Sciences is going to continue to do, to lead. I loved what you said about ethical, responsible. Heck, grow it yourself if you want to. Don't get on the interweb and buy some weird, mysterious product. If you're a do-it-yourselfer, do it yourself. Otherwise, go to the good health food stores where they have plus CBD oil and get something that you know when you scan the QR code. Scan the QR code on the bottle. It takes you to a certificate of analysis so that you're sure it's from food fiber hemp, not from marijuana or from a chemical synthesis. So we better get smarter. At first, Doc, it was about educating everybody, and now we've got to help channel the enthusiasm into the appropriate swim lane.
Any breaking news from CV Sciences?
Yes. Yeah,
And-
we've got some breaking news.
I'm a reporter. I'm a journalist too, so I'm fishing. Can you?
Yes. Well, we hired Dr. Douglas Mackay, Dr. Duffy Mackay,
to
run our scientific and regulatory affairs for CV Science. For those of you who don't know the name of this person, Dr. Douglas Mackay just resigned from the Council of Responsible Nutrition. He was their senior scientific advisor, regulatory compliance, and he's doing that for us. So we hired the top regulatory expert from Washington, D.C., Dr. Garko. I know you've met him before, right?
I have.
Dr. Duffy Mackay.
I have.
So
Nice
he's
guy.
now going to be our person on the Hill negotiating this truce.
This is good. Let me ask you something. If somebody here out where Gary lives is growing marijuana, they can go to jail. Can somebody go to jail for growing hemp?
Well, currently, right now at this moment, and thank you very much. You always rein me in. I sort of jumped the fence there a little bit. I was trying to give everybody a freedom out. Once you can grow hemp legally, then you can grow hemp. Let me clarify that. There are states that allow you to grow hemp as part of a research pilot program, but let's start seeing where the puck is going to go. If this is the new thing that everyone will have their own victory garden of hemp. Eventually,
I don't have
that
time.
will be an option for people.
I don't even have time to grow. I don't have time to grow flowers. I don't have time to grow anything, man.
Well, then go to a health food store. Vitamin Discount Center is a great one.
Yeah, or Vitamin Shop or Vitamin this and
Zinc up in with Rufino. He's got a hemp store.
All right, Gary has some questions when we come back from our Facebook system. LT on Coast to Coast and globally with Stuart Tomc.
Don't be stressed out or anxious. Take Hempanol, the only
No, that's not the grade of a student who's average and had an epiphany and study, got a B, and then wandered away and got a D. No, that's not what that means. It's cannabidiol, derived from hemp, and CV Sciences products. Boy, they have really come in the last 5 years. They have done so much to educate the general population and to get this product into the marketplace, into your health stores. Thanks, in large measure, to Stuart Tomc, who's the guest today. Know this, Stuart, that during the Revolutionary War troops sometimes were diagnosed with suffering from revolutiana, which was, I guess that was the early rendition of post-traumatic stress syndrome. It was called revolutiana due to stress. Perhaps they have had some CBD. They would have done better. Welcome back to the show.
What a great factoid. I think that's what we all might be suffering with right now. What I mean, when you think of the effect of the interweb, this is the printing press times. You can't even calculate how much bigger this is. And so that, in addition to the demands of adaptation, you said it earlier.
Yeah.
This endocannabinoid system, if I can get people excited about one thing, you get online, you start reading about the endocannabinoid system and how it evolved as more pressure and more stress caused the evolutionary adaptation that we all know and all experience and all understand. And we may be in a period of intense pressure right now, and this plant has become decriminalized and liberated. So let's make sure. Let's support the agricultural hemp sector. Here's what's happening, Doc. This thing got so popular, they're doing two things. They're either making chemicals and just trying to make CBD by itself, not the 500 compounds in the hemp tourage effect. No, they're isolating just the one molecule, or people are selling marijuana with low THC. And here's the problem with that. I finally figured it out. We've talked about this before, but you know why you don't want to use low THC marijuana to make CBD oil, Doc? I finally have a good answer.
What is the answer?
Because if you do, those plants have no seeds and no fibers, which means no hemp products, which means low THC marijuana makes a hemp extract, but it doesn't replace plastic or concrete.
Yeah.
Or building materials. That was the reason we passed the Farm Bill. The reason America got behind this was giant farming with overalls and tractors and combines. And what happened? The opportunists, right? We call them the ganjapreneurs. They snuck in like some little Trojan horse. So don't buy weed products claiming to be hemp products.
Yeah,
and don't buy chemically isolated CBD. Get plus CBD oil. You never hear me do that, right? I'm the teacher. I'm your student and your friend. But I'm coming on here now saying plus CBD oil because it's from hemp, because it's safe, because it's tested and it's effective. You're better off to grow it at home, I'm serious, and take the risk of getting in trouble so at least you know what's in there than going to buy random hemp extracts these days because there are no rules yet. FDA is just waking up. They're about to have hearings. That's also breaking news, Doc. The FDA will have hearings. Scott Gottlieb said yesterday there will be different concentrations and different potencies in food versus drugs. Everything that we're saying is coming true.
We had some questions on our Facebook message system.
And one was the first one that came in was CBD helping with stress related to, let me get back to it. The first one is, can you overdose on CBD? That was the first one.
Absolutely. So just let's be clear. When we say CBD, that's one molecule. The upper limit is about 50 milligrams per kilogram a day of body weight. So you can take 5,000 to 6,000 milligrams probably. World Health Organization says it's non-toxic, it's perfectly safe, but you don't want to do that. That's a drug for treatment-resistant epilepsy. It was ionotropic at that point. What you want to do is look at the hemp extract that only has a little bit of naturally occurring CBD and the other 500 phytocannabinoids together. Those are the wellness products. So that's where we've got to now sharpen up our language, right, Dr. Garko, with precision communication? CBD is different than a hemp extract.
Well, all right, let me stop you there. CBD is different than a hemp extract.
Yeah, CBD is one molecule, cannabidiol, and a hemp extract contains 500 molecules, including a little bit of naturally occurring CBD. Hemp is no longer a controlled substance. Marijuana is. CBD is an active pharmaceutical ingredient. So that's the most confusing conversation in nutrition, blurring lines that you and I have ever had.
So what?
We have to educate people.
How do you address the issue? People will argue, well, if you do the hemp extract, that's the whole context, and that's better.
Well, when you say better, it has to be for which application. There is now evidence for treatment-resistant seizures published in the New England Journal of Medicine showing modern miracle reduction in seizures with pure isolated CBD. So for that application, it's which tool in the tool chest is most appropriate. So this requires nuance and patience.
Okay, but what about everyday life?
That's different. That's what our products are for. Our products are for everyday life. The red product is for inflammation. The green product is for stress. The gold product is for pain. All three of those products are different. If you want to wake up and feel great, try Plus CBD oil. Have a cup of coffee. I take it first thing in the morning. It elevates because, Doc, it speaks to the serotonin receptors.
Is that the gold?
So a lot of people don't know that.
Is that the gold Plus CBD gold?
That's my go-to. I like the gold Plus CBD oil hemp soft gels because I get 15 milligrams of CBD and 60 milligrams of hemp extract. The hemp extract has all of the other stuff. That's what the plus is. It's the vitamin E, the sterols, all those neat things working together.
So that's, okay, what words mean. Plus CBD. That's where the plus is the hemp extract component.
Correct.
All right. You had another question, Gary.
And the question was, is using CBD for stress-related shingles, will it help relieve stress for that are getting from being stressed?
I have anecdotal information from one of my mentors, another doctor who also knows Dr. Garko, who's very famous, and I can't mention his name on the air, who used our gold balm for shingles and the gold soft gels. There is absolutely positively an immune aberrant activity going on when you have shingles. Right, Dr. Garko?
Yes.
CBD dampens hyperactive immune activity at the CB2 receptor. That may be one of the very, very targeted, proven appropriate places to use this stuff.
Is Dr. Michael Lewis still on your medical board, by the way?
Yes, he is.
Okay. When we come back, a thought occurred to me relative to the military and CBD. We'll come back. I'll get into that, and I'll have the LTN health question of the day. You are listening to Let's Talk Nutrition, coast to coast and globally, featuring the inimitable Stuart Tomc. the day. The American Psychological Association every year publishes its Stress in America report. And over the years, they've done a good job with that. They theme it. Every year is a different theme. One year that they did a survey, and they were trying to figure out, exactly what were the stressors that people were concerned about, what percent of people were suffering from stress, and so on. Here's the question. According to this, they said that most Americans are suffering from moderate to high stress. More specifically, what percent of the respondents in this survey by the APA reported that their stress levels had increased over the past 5 years? What percent of people in the APA survey, American Psychological Survey, said that their stress levels have increased over the past 5 years? 4%, 14%, or 44%? You have the right answer. You want a $25 supplement gift card. Go ahead.
877-897-8255. That's 877-897-TALK.
Let's go to Clarksville, Georgia. And there's a store there called A to Zinc, and Rufino is the proprietor. Rufino Pato. Mr. Pato, welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition.
Hey, Doc. Long time no talk, huh?
Well, you don't write, you don't call.
Well, actually, I'm calling you from my second store, Sweet Relief, and that's why I'm talking. Every time Stuart's on, I need to call in because I sent Gary a picture. Plus CBD has 2 shelves in my new store because all their products are amazing. So I had to have every one of them, and it's going really well. And I just want to tell you, we have the first hemp store out here in the county, and it's doing really well. And I am concerned because we do have a Walgreens down the street, and I am concerned about stores just trying to make money and not worrying about people's health. And there is a big difference in CBD. And Stuart is so right when he was saying that. And I know there's some supplements and protein that's not good for you in these big retail stores too, but now they're doing the hemp, and it just makes me angry, Doc, because people don't understand there is a certain quality that you want. You don't want to just put anything into your body. So that's why I opened up Sweet Relief Store, and I'm trying to educate people, Doc.
That's wonderful. So you have a fan there, Stuart, in Clarksville, Georgia, man.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Stuart. Yeah, we've talked before. I love that guy.
Yes, we have. How are you?
I'm wonderful. He's just amazing. Every time he's on, I learn something about Plus CBD. And I got to tell Stuart, his gummies, I cannot keep those gummies in stock. They're incredible. Those 10-milligram gummies, they are amazing. I mean, I've had other gummies, but I don't know their strain, what they do, how they make them.
Okay, let's talk about that just for a moment so everybody can hear this. This is an excellent point, okay? To make gummies, do you think it would be easier to crystallize the CBD and just sprinkle it in there? That sounds like that would be easier to manufacture, right? Right?
Yeah.
That's not what we do. We use that gold oil that we make from our hemp that we're growing in Holland, and it has that peppery beta-caryophyllene. It tastes like the plant. There are 500 cofactors working together. So if you don't taste some of that plant aromatic taste, then you may be just getting the isolated molecule. And if the gummy tastes like marijuana, it probably is. So you have to get the right product, plus CBD oil.
Mm-hmm. So
yeah, it's incredible how fast it works, Stuart. I mean, within minutes of taking a gummy, you could see the difference of another gummy. It's incredible how, and you're absolutely right. When you put the oil instead of just putting the crystals in, there is a big difference, and that's what I'm trying to educate people about.
Let me ask you, Rufino, people coming into the store without mentioning any customer's name or identity, giving it away, why are they buying CBD? What are they telling you?
Well, just like you were talking about, stress and anxiety and sleep are number one, but I'm going to tell you what I see a lot of, Doc, and it's pain. It's pain, and people and they're on prescriptions, and they're on other stuff, and I'm seeing people come off them now. So stress, anxiety, sleep, and pain. But, we can go further into this. I know it's almost the end of your show, but digestive disorders, diabetes, I'm seeing differences in a lot of different challenges of the body, not just those main ones.
Do you have people coming back and anecdotally reporting the effects?
Oh, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. I can't even keep his gummies on the shelf. His 15 milligram soft gels are just perfect for someone first thing in the morning because it's not going to put you out. It's not going to make you take a nap. It's going to relax you. It's going to help you through the day. It's going to help with pain. So they've got it. They've got the market cornered as far as quality. I'm going to tell you that there's a lot of products out there, but Plus CBD is just first thing I put in my new store, and they have 2 shelves here because I had to carry everything. So I'm getting a lot of feedback. Absolutely.
So what happens when you take your Plus CBD Gold, Stuart? With if I took that with my my Ristretto shots from Starbucks in the morning?
That would be that would make sense. No, especially, look, if you were tired, you have a little bit of caffeine, but CBD speaks to the serotonin receptors. It elevates. People need to understand it's like the opposite side of THC. It elevates. First, THC doesn't do that, so it's great for your mood, and it also works on the GABA receptor, and it accentuates your natural response to stress, improves your natural response to stress.
So you're doing well with your store. You took a big risk. I mean, it's in Clarksville, Georgia. You're not in Atlanta.
Yeah, Doc. I mean, we're going to have to talk sometime. I'll have to call you. Yeah, we'll have to talk sometime. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm not going to say there hasn't been a couple challenges being the first herb store or CBD store in the county. But we're doing good. Everything's going well. But I've got some stories, and they've been good. And there's some challenges, but yeah, we're doing really great here, and the store is doing wonderful. So.
Good, congratulations, and thank you for your call. We appreciate it.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye, Stuart.
Take care.
He's a fan. He's a fan of yours, brother.
Look at this. We did this one person at a time. We went to every single trade show. We burned ourselves into the ground. We just shook hands, looked them right in the eyes, and said, "If this works, please tell other people." It was like anti-marketing. It was incredible. Incredible. It was nodes. We created a network.
Yes, you did. The strength of weak ties. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for your passion, your commitment. CV Sciences, they're still there. They're going to be there. They'll be on the forefront fight. They are the flag carrier, for sure. And
Thank you, Doctor.
You're doing great. Thank you, Stuart, for your informed, tempered, inspired passion. It's really something. Well, I love it. It's so infectious. Take care of yourself. We'll catch you the next time. CV Sciences, Plus CBD. Why? Because your health is your wealth.
Everyone raving about the newest botanical